Well, I am glad to have here with me a very good friend of the family, and I've known him for quite a bit of time. He is one of our leaders here at Grace Communion Richardson, and he is also our Love Avenue Champion. How are you doing, Leo?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
We're here to have a conversation about the Love Avenue, which we consider a ministry avenue for fulfilling our vision and mission. What is love?
We are learning still about what that means to step into the love of God, because that's really what it's all about. Our Lord made us in His image, and He is love, it tells us in the Scriptures. And I love God, and He loves me, and He loves you, and I know He loves everybody that He has created. We desire very much to touch the hearts of the people in our community, to know where they're at, and to share this incredibly good news of the love of God with them in every way we can.
Wow, so what does that look like in our body life as a church?
We lean toward the idea that if we're in the identity of our Lord, Jesus Christ, then we're in His identity of love, and therefore whatever action we take outside of that is in response to that love of who we are. And so we look for opportunities to connect with people that may be hurting, or that are hopeless, or are struggling with just life issues in general, that frustrations and anger, all that COVID, good grief.
What are some of the practical ways that the love of God is being shared?
As a result of COVID, we kicked off the food pantry to help serve the needs of those in our local community that have a need to eat.
Yeah.
You know, families and kids and homeless and people that have lost their jobs. We're going to meet them right there and give them that love, totally unconditionally, if you will. And it's a drive-through. Other members of the community are involved. The Korean World Missionary Baptist Church is in collaboration with us in it. And now we've had some participation with the Vietnamese church here locally.
Right.
It's done in a safe way. People handle the food very safely. We're not in contact, if you will, with people driving through. So we're very safety conscious in trying to help.
What I'm hearing you say, Leo, is that this expression of love is not just contained in the church, but it is expressed flowing out of the church to the community as well. So it is something that's happening in word and in deed.
Yes.
And the food drive-through food pantry is one of those deeds. The love of God is being shared. I understand that you've been very much involved with the school near us as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
The schools are very important. One of the things that got us several years ago to begin to focus was a church service dedicated to blessing of the children. And out of that, we began to get more involved with the schools around us and have been able to go up and say, how can we help?
Yeah.
Where can we touch the needs of the teachers and the kids and their families?
Yeah.
And we've had that privilege, working with, again, in collaboration with other people as well.
Great. I wanted to ask, Leo, what is the word aspect, sharing of that wonderful good news of God's love that you mentioned earlier? What is that going to look like?
God created us all, and He loves us all, corporately and uniquely and individually.
Yeah.
And we seek to connect with individuals in the community. One of the mechanisms is talk, truth and life conversations. What does that look like? It's finding the hot topics in people's hearts. Right now, COVID is one of those areas. Social injustice issues. It's God does not want this breakage, this brokenness to exist in our lives. And so we offer an opportunity where we can hear and then listen into and communicate and bring that love into the reality.
This is one of the pathways where we engage people about the real life issues that they are struggling with or may have questions about and so on, whether it's about COVID or it's about race or about social justice issues, parenting, whatever. You're not doing this all by yourself. You have a team, a group of people that you're working with to do this. So it's a team effort.
Oh yeah, yeah, you bet, you bet. As you talk about that, I think of one of our team members, who is a prayer warrior. You know, he loves to pray and help people in those areas. And we have Pray and Go. But that involved in getting in the neighborhood specifically, right here, and just praying for people in their homes. Not banging on doors and say, hey, come to church or anything like that, but just saying, we love you, we prayed for you today, and leaving that message there in some way. In that process, sometimes people ask us questions, and we're able to encourage them even more.
Oh, wow. What is one thing that you're looking forward to, either towards the end of this year or for 2021?
I'm like a kid in a candy store when I hear that because there's so much opportunity and things that we would like to do. We can't do them all, of course. To be able to potentially reach families between now and the first of the year, we hope to be able to connect with the schools. Through the year, the collaboration with Easter coming up and the talk messages, the truth and life conversation. During the summer, by God's grace, we're going to have some opportunities for the youth to grow in specific needful areas.
Okay.
You know, my grandson learned how to cook cornbread the other day.
That's an incredible skills development, right?
It really is.
I'm chuckling because I asked you for one thing and you've given me 6 already.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by a kid in a candy store.
That's right.
We can't do everything, but we are so eager and desirous.
Yeah.
And by the way, that gives me the opportunity to mention to the listeners that we can't do everything, so we need you.
Yeah.
And we want volunteers, and you're eager to have volunteers, and if you have a heart or a passion in an area, let's get you involved in leadership too, if that's your call.
Amen to that, especially as we desire to develop this neighborhood that we love, that we are part of, neighbor helping neighbor as we go on in life. We're not meant to do life alone,
No.
right? And we are better together. Thank you so very much, Leo, for taking the time to talk.